Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show. Real talk, big opinions, and fearless conversations. From the front lines of politics to the latest in pop culture. From breaking sports headlines to the stories that move the world. Nothing's off limits, and nobody's holding back. Arrington Gavin is here to break it down, build it up, and keep it all the way real. So turn it up, lean in, and let's get into it. This is the Arrington Gavin Show.
What is happening, my friends? Welcome to another great episode of the Arrington Gavin Show. Your go-to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day, whether it is politics, sports, pop culture, or the latest buzz. Look, we're diving deep and keeping it real, so please do me a favor, kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. On today's conversation, my friends, we got a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of that, and a little bit of this. Okay, I'll give it to you. So recently, there's been a staffing shakeup for Republican candidate governors, Republican Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl Sears out of the state of Virginia, my home state. There is she is currently the Republican nominee for governor of the state of Virginia. She is facing not one, but two, because I want to show respect where respect is due, because you don't hear a lot of the corporate and legacy media networks promoting this race as there's three candidates, including Winsome Earl Sears. There's Democratic nominee, former Virginia Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger, and then there's also Miss Donna Charles. She is the independent candidate running for Virginia governor. So again, there is other candidates in this race. But yeah, there's been a shakeup in her staff, so we'll talk a little bit about that. Actually removing some key people in her campaign. So we'll talk about that later on the show. And Donald Trump is set to sign an executive order. Can't get my words out here. Executive order establishing that national NIL standards amid involving legislation. So what does he have an issue now with NILs? Because that's where it sounds like, in my opinion. For me, NIL is well deserved for all these collegiate athletes. Why? Because they are the ones that really bring the heavy dollars to those institutions and universities. So we'll talk more about that later on. In addition to that, and it's going to be a touchy subject, but we're going to discuss the whole topic surrounding police brutality in our country. We had recently just heard about the conviction of a ex-officer who gunned down Breonna Taylor. He has recently been sentenced. And then we also have a surveillance video. This occurred in Jacksonville. A video recorded from an altercation that happened in February, but the video had just resurfaced pretty recent, and it has a lot of folks frustrated, as they should. We'll discuss that a little more later on in the program as well. And we got some more, hopefully, if we have some time. So again, I just want to thank you all for taking 1 hour of your time and tune in to yet another great episode here on the Arrington Gavin Show. I am your friend, your homie, Arrington Gavin, coming to you on this wonderful evening. For those who are streaming us right now on YouTube, please do me a favor, like, subscribe, share with a friend, share with family. I truly appreciate that. We want to continue to build our message to a more broader audience, and we can't do that without you all, the listeners, the viewers out there. So please, again, like, subscribe, share, and just remind everybody of the Arrington Gavin Show. All right, I truly appreciate that, my friends. Multiple ways you can tune into the program. We drop new episodes on our YouTube channel, and by way of a podcast platform as well. We drop new episodes weeknights, Monday through Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. New episodes. You can also catch us on the Goatverse TV app. Okay, Goatverse TV network. We are available on there on demand. So please be sure to download that app. It's free. It's available in the App Store, Google Play Store, Roku, as well as Amazon Fire TV. In addition to that, I mentioned earlier, you can listen to us. We're available in all wherever you get your podcasts. We're available on loads of platforms, podcast platforms, that is. So wherever you get your podcast, you can. All you have to do is just type in the Arrington Gavin Show. You'll find us right there. Follow us, give us 5 stars, and we will, we truly appreciate that love. In addition to that, you can also check us on the radio airwaves. Shout out to our listeners that are tuning in right now to the Arrington Gavin Show on WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about. You can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights at 7 p.m. Central Time, only on WBOK 1230 AM. Again, what New Orleans is talking about. Also, you can check us in the metro Atlanta area by way of WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk. You can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And again, that is on WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk. Okay, my friend. So, what do we have going on for you today? What is on the dome, man? Because it's been such an eventful day. I'm trying to see some interesting things that has occurred. Um, hmm. I'm over here thinking, because I love to always share a little bit of the day with you all. I don't know if y'all know this, but I happen to have I have a nonprofit called the Revolution Foundation, and we are a 501 I believe it's 501c organization, where we have been blessing our youth in the Hampton Roads area since 2019. We are coming up on our sixth annual back to school giveaway. We're coming up on our sixth annual back to school giveaway, where we as a foundation, we will grab we get loads of backpacks. We our company, our foundation purchases backpacks. We usually start at around 250 to maybe 350. Well, I'll give you the breakdown. So in 2019, I really wanted to I've always had a passion for the youth here in the Hampton Roads area. Why? Because I myself was raised a very privileged kid, and as a kid, my folks always had me doing community service work, whether if it was working in a soup kitchen, or just the fact that my folks raised me saying, "Hey, look, you were very blessed and fortunate as a kid. You need to be a blessing to others," and they always stuck that into me, the importance of being a blessing to others. So fast forward, after always doing community service work, boom, I'm a business owner, I'm doing my thing. I'm fortunate to see how that's growing, but I realized that in our communities, I'm like, wait a minute, on this side of town, everything's up roses and everything is beautiful, sun is shining, this, and then 2 feet away we see communities that are being ignored, that needs the resources. They're being ignored by their local city. That's a whole nother story, because this is not just a issue that occurs in my hometown, but this happens everywhere. There are a lot of uh ignored communities and areas where council and your elected officials, they don't help. They say they're going to do this, but they say a lot of stuff when it's time for campaigns, right? When it's election season, but yet do they ever follow those promises that they made during their campaign season? No. So I said, well, I want to try and help as best I can. So what I did, I'm like, well, look, we got to start off when it comes to education, right? Investing today for tomorrow's future. And so day one, we purchased 250 backpacks, and we challenged the community to donate the school supplies. So we had a goal of giving out 250 backpacks filled with school supplies. We ended up exceeding that, doing 365. Blessing. Now, in addition to those, we were giving out free haircuts, free face painting. We had other resource tables there. It was more than just giving away the free backpacks. Now, since then, we have given out to over 3,000 families backpacks filled with school supplies. In addition to other resources, we've helped out those families that needs the assistance, and it warms my heart, because that's what we need to continue to do as a community, is always look out for one another. When we see folks in need, we need to help them. And so I'm so excited, because we will be doing our sixth annual back to school giveaway. This year this is gonna be our second time. We're giving out free pairs of shoes, brand new shoes. Because we gain free backpacks, lunches, door prizes, free haircuts, student ID. We partnered with the local sheriff department doing Identikids. It's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful event, my friends. And for those who want to know more information about that, please visit our website, www.rugged-evolution-foundation.org. rugged-evolution-foundation.org. Okay, if you would love to donate, if you're not in the Hampton Roads area, but if you happen to be in the Hampton Roads area, please still donate. Or if you want to, be a volunteer, you can contact us through our website as well. You can visit us on our social media platform, rugged_foundation1. You can find out more information about that, as well as our website. So I just wanted to put that out there to start off the show, because I know we normally will have a fun fact of the day or a Black Excellent report. So I wanted to focus on talking about this upcoming event that the Revolution Foundation will be having, and it's very exciting. I can't wait. We have appearances from our elected officials there, those that do great things in the community. Okay, and it's just gonna be a great time, y'all. So again, I just want to push that out there, and for our listeners abroad, please get involved in community work. Get involved in ways you can give back for those who don't have much. It is so important that because we live in a world where we take a lot of stuff for granted. And so it's important that you do your part and continue to be a blessing to others. Like my folks raised me saying, hey, be a blessing to others. All right, my friend. So look, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll get started with our headlines here on the Arrington Gavin Show. So please do not go anywhere. And thank you again for sticking with us. So we'll be right back after these commercial breaks.
Every man has a story to tell. Your ambitions, your achievements, your legacy. Your suit should reflect that story. Crafted precisely, designed for impact, and tailored exclusively for you. We work with only the finest fabrics, luxurious wools, silk, linen, and blends from world-renowned mills in Italy, the UK, and India. These fabrics are the foundation of custom suits that exude elegance and stand the test of time. But a suit isn't just about fabric, it's about fit, and it's about confidence, and it all starts with you. When you work with me, you'll receive a personalized consultation, whether in person or over Zoom. Together, we'll explore your vision and discuss your needs. And we're going to bring your ideas to life. My journey as a designer includes apprenticing under New York-based designer Clavon Leonard, showcasing collections at New York Fashion Week, Algeria Fashion Week, and the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. That experience is what we bring to every suit we create, from weddings to corporate events and everything in between. We specialize in crafting one-of-a-kind suits for life's most significant moments. Dapper Luke has been recognized as one of Baltimore's best menswear in 2023, and I was honored to be one of the 10 designers selected for the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. With over 900 satisfied clients, we proudly serve Virginia Beach and Baltimore, bringing world-class designs to these incredible communities. We don't just make suits, we craft confidence. Your suit will fit your body, your style, and it will tell your story. Book your free online personal consultation today. Visit www.dapperluke.com.
Jazera Learning Institute, LLC, is a hybrid learning center that strives to educate adults and children in all fields. During the day, we offer programs that are focused on developing students from pre-K to 12th grade, which includes tutoring, homeschool co-op, an after-school program, SAT, ACT prep, and many more engaging academic programs. Our adult education programs include workforce trainings, GED prep, life coaching, various seminars, and many more. Our vision is to train and educate in a positive way that will lead to a positive change in the world, one person at a time. For more information, visit us online at JazarenLearningInstitute.com or call us at 757-208-7407.
You know, just like a winning team evolves throughout the season, so does your beard. I'm Arrington Gavin, proud CEO of Rugged Evolution Beard Care. With our premium oils, balms, and grooming tools, it's everything you need to level up your beard game. Whether you're a seasoned pro or a rookie, Rugged Evolution is the new smooth. Order now and dominate the beard game like never before. Rugged Evolution Beard Care, because every beard deserves to be legendary.
All right, my friends, welcome back. Welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. Thank you for sticking with us. So let's get it going with our first story. And I hate to have this as your first just to start the show off. But we're gonna talk about your boy in the White House. It's Trump. It's hard for me to even call him President Trump sometime, man. I'll be honest. And I'm a person that respects office, but you respect those who respect you, right? You give the same feedback that they give to you. And what I've seen in this administration, I don't see any signs of respect towards us, especially us in the Black community. I don't see it. Please, somebody, please tell me where they show the respect that they give us. Please do. Let me go ahead and share this story with you. So President Donald Trump, this is reported by CBS Sports, to sign executive order establishing national NIL standards amid evolving legislations. Okay, so let's go ahead and read this article here. Says here that Trump plans to sign the executive order establishing national standards for name, image, and likeness. According to CBS News, within the past week, members of U.S. House Representatives introduced an amended bill called the SCORE Act, which stands for Student Compensation and Opportunity Through Rights and Endorsements, aiming to protect the name, image, and likeness rights of student athletes to promote fair compensation with respect to intercollegiate athletics and for other purposes. Now, what it sounds like to me is that he's trying to limit athletes' NIL earnings. So, okay, let me continue this. Now, the bill could open the door for federal standards for NIL legislation superseding the current state laws that provided guidance on player compensation. Okay, so now SEC Commissioner Greg Sansky recently had said during an appearance on SEC this morning that he had no knowledge of a pending executive order, but no one does, because he just puts out these dumb executive orders, in my opinion. Because see, what does this have to affect our country for? Remember, I spoke on the last program how he is bullying organizations like the Washington Commanders and the Cleveland Guardians, but specifically the Washington Commanders, because Washington Commanders are now talking about establishing a new arena, moving them right back into DC, because they have been in Maryland for over 10 years. I know they've been in Maryland for quite some time. Yet they're called the Washington Commanders. So Trump is, with the bully tactic, saying, well, I'm going to block their I'm gonna block them from uh pursuing this new arena here in DC until they change the name back to the Washington Redskins. I mean, just again a classless uh thing to do, in my opinion, a classless human being. Because here's the thing: if he's saying mega, MIGA, make Indians great again. First of all, go up to a member of the indigenous community and ask, do they want to be addressed as an Indian, Mr. President? Just go ahead and ask. Just go ahead and ask. You might have folks that say I don't care. I don't care. Then you have Native American groups that actually was happy that they changed the name from the Redskins to the Commanders. So that's a whole nother story. Again, I mentioned that in the last on the previous show. But I quote I want to read here from the SEC commissioner says here that the president clearly has an interest in sports. He acts like he knows sports. He doesn't. He tried to own or run a UFL team back in the day that didn't work out, but we all know what kind of businessman this guy is. That's another show for another day. Big picture, he says, has an interest in college sports. He has been at our games. The notion of an executive order has been mentioned before. There were some reports of a commission or an executive order back to like April, I think, is when that started to bubble. So we'll wait and see. I don't have any inside information about what generated those reports late last evening. Excuse me. So says here that Trump has shown a keen interest in college athletics in the earlier months of his second term. Says here in May, reports that emerged that Trump intended to create a college sports commission headed back prominent Texas Tech booster Cody Campbell and legendary former coach Nick Saban that would investigate pressing issues such as NIL'D reform. So here's my issue right now, because guys like Nick Saban, who, don't get me wrong, is a legendary collegiate collegiate football coach. He's a legendary, winning coach with a huge resume. He's not a fan of NILs. A lot of coaches, college coaches that have been doing it for a long time, are not fans of the NIL. Now, folks like myself that are, I'm a consumer, I'm a viewer, but a lot of my close friends were collegiate athletes. My wife was a former collegiate athlete. My brother-in-law was a former collegiate athlete. My dad was a former collegiate athlete. You don't realize the schedule. You don't realize the life as a student athlete. Now, I say student athlete, but realistically, it's athlete student, because the institutions look at them as just the athlete. They don't look at them as a student, in my opinion. Especially when you look at the big time sports schools. Because I mean, look at the money that's funding. Look at the money that they put in to hire coaches. Look at the money that they put in for their travel. If they care about student athletes, then they will find ways to really help out students. But now with the growth of NILs, that is a big important thing, because look, not all college students are going to make it to that high pro level. So they're like, okay, the time I spent in school to try and make it to a career that most likely is slim picking. Because you look at the NFL, for one. The NFL, you draft 250 guys a year. 250 guys get drafted, or maybe 225. I know it's a little over 200. They get drafted per year. Now, think of the number of colleges and universities out there that are all fighting to get drafted. Then you move it on to college basketball. Again, there's only 2 rounds in college basketball. So again, this is the importance with NIL, especially for those who don't come from much, and they can at least they can sustain a good a good amount of wealth and make a name for himself on a collegiate level, because sometimes college sports are just as probably more popular than pros. Um, says here, however, the White House put those plans on hiatus, and completely unrelated college sports commission was created in the wake of House versus NCAA settlement, which opened the door for athletes to profit off of revenue sharing. Again, very important. Who's making these universities money? Who's making the NCAA money? The athletes are, dude. The athletes are. The College Sports Commission, in partnership with consulting first Deloitte, launched an online portal called NIL Go, where athletes can report third-party NIL deals to ensure that they match fair market value and include a valid business purpose based on an actual endorsement. Now, college football leaders haven't heard about the order. College sports leaders, including SEC Commissioner, as I mentioned earlier, billionaire Texas Tech booster Cody Campbell, are some of the leading voices behind NIL change, but didn't expect the announcement recently. Now, Campbell has spoken on at length with Trump during the summer about ways to stabilize the rapidly changing landscape of college sports. Campbell told USA Today he hadn't heard anything about Trump's order, but was not caught off guard by the news. I'll be honest, y'all. I think this is just a simple way of government trying to get their hands on some of that money, or just not wanting to see these kids really make a living. And on top of that, you have wealthy individuals like, oh, well, this is not fair. This is just not right. Because how many times have you heard folks saying, well, they get scholarship? All right, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? And I used to be a hater of the NILs, because I too was like, well, college tuition is a huge expense. Why are they asking for more money? I mean, it's a bit greedy, right? They got the meal plans, they got they got the merch, they got they got the popularity, they got the scholarship. Again, what is the deal here? But then it dawned on me, I'm like, wait a minute. How much money are they making? How much revenue income are they making for the university? How much money are they making for the NCAA? Math ain't mathin', right? The math ain't mathin'. So I truly believe it's extremely important for these players to get every single dollar of their money should go to them. And I really think that it's a shame that this order would create national rules to control how athletes earn money. I think that, once again, and I could be biased here, but I think folks hate seeing a lot of these brothers out here making this cash. I mean, let's be honest. Deion Sanders' son is making more money off of NILs than he is making in the NFL. And he's not the only one. I mean, I just used him for an example. But these cats are making more money NILs. Oh Lord, what's her Angel Reese? Angel Reese was entering into the WNBA a millionaire. Okay, she already made her money from NILs, and now she's continuing making more money because she was already a household name. She was a brand. She knew, my friends, business ethics. All right, business ethics. Let me digress from this story, y'all. I want to move it on to another one. Let's see here. Let me come. I'm gonna go away from the sports talk. I want to move it on to some entertainment here. So I don't know if y'all have heard recently, but we live in a very politically correct society, right? How many times have you heard in conversations, oh well, The stuff that they said back then is we can't talk about that now. The stuff we used to talk about that back then, we can't share that now. The reason why I brought this up is because one of my wife's favorite movies, and mine too, we love the film Rush Hour, starring Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker, right? The series, well, the trilogy, they've made what, 3 successful films. Rush Hour 1, 2, and 3. Great for hell. We named our dog after Carter from Rush Hour. But we always have the conversation because we love comedy. We love stand-up comedy. That's that's a great date night for us. We don't go to a lot of concerts. We love concerts, but we don't go to a lot of concerts. We love comedy, stand-up comedy. And I've shared here on the program one of my favorite comedians of all time. My number one is Bernie Mac. Number 2 is Dave Chappelle. All right. Those are my top 2 comedians of all times. Number 3, I'm not gonna say any order, but I'll just say my top 5. You got those 2 I mentioned earlier. DL Hughley is in that top 5 list. I mean, I am a comic junkie. Wanda Sykes, Ron White, right? Those cats are like some of my. Shane Gillis is starting to get up there for me. Shane Gillis is funny as I don't know what. But I love comedy. Even those that face criticism, like I'm a upset a lot of people, but hell, I think Tony Hinchcliffe is hilarious. He's very vulgar, he's very unfiltered with his comedy, is very dark humor, but it's funny. He's known as a roaster, so I enjoy it. But I'm coming back to this because the whole discussion here is what is allowed, what can be accepted in today's society, or what is allowed that probably well, no, what is not allowed. Look, it's been a long day, forgive me, y'all. What is not allowed now that was accepted back then? And so, folks, this is interesting. There has recently been they showed this on social media, a disclaimer, a content warning in the beginning before Rush Hour airs their film. Rush Hour now comes with, and I'm reading this by primetimer.com. Rush Hour now comes with a content warning as old school comedy meets new school standards. Here's the thing, y'all. I get it. Humor back then is just it, but people are so sensitive. This is what I'm not a fan of cancel culture. I'm not a fan of the being politically correct. Why? Because it's, in my opinion, it's you will know when something's out of love and you know when something's out of hate, whether that's with the tone, whether that's with the action, the expression, who it's coming from. Like, it's different. I've said it here. The like the film White Chicks. That movie is I watched it recently. It was funny, but I guarantee you there are some scenes in that film that you were like, oh no, that they had to cut out. All right. There's so many that you could think of, so many films in the past. And again, hearing coming from Rush Hour, you're like, wow, Rush Hour was at the bottom compared to other films that you were watching. I'll even say we've seen comedians time and time again get themselves in trouble for saying a really off the wall joke. But if you really just, like, you have to find the humor, because not everybody has a different taste in humor, right? Everybody has a different style of comic that they enjoy. There's some folks that like the ones that don't swear. There's some folks that like the people that do swear. There's some folks that are like more male comics, and there's some folks that like less female. I mean, it's just, I've encountered so many folks where it's just like, wow, really. So it says here that Rush Hour, the 1998 buddy cop hit that starred the 2 actors that I mentioned earlier, Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker, which now plays on the USA Network and Prime Video, with a brief disclaimer that flashes before the opening. Now, the warnings first aired on USA Network, which is the cable, network, understandable, right? And screenshot from Prime Video went viral, sparking debate about how older comedies fit a modern viewing standard. Now, in my opinion, I think we have to always give our fellow comedians flowers, because for the sake of, there's folks that have been doing it since day one back in the day that's still doing it now, that's still touring, right? I mentioned Dave Chappelle, who's a genius. D.L. Hughley, genius. Wanda Sykes, genius. Ron White, genius. Jeff Foxworthy, all these cats. Jeff ain't in my top 5, but I'm just naming them as far as like, those older guys are still the Wayans family are still doing comedy. George Lopez are still doing Cedric. There's so many folks that are still doing it. Joe Rogan still doing it. And then you got the ones that are growing, that are continuing to build a career. Andrew Schultz, Tony Hinchcliffe, Shane Gillis. Oh my goodness. I'm blanking out on his name. He's just Kev on Stage. That's another great. Tony Baker. There's so many names I can think of. But the big question is why Rush Hour now is carrying these pre-screen warnings. So now networks adopt the label after viewers flagged scenes that leaned on Asian accent mockery. Okay, boom, that's one. Repeated use of the N-word, and then fat shaming quibs, material commonplace in the late 90s studio. And I get it. Ain't nobody should be. I personally, I don't even like using the word. No one should ever use the N-word. Okay, so that's I understand that. The Asian mockery. I mean, again, they use that humor because of not knowing, or they use it as an educational tool amongst different cultures, right? I think that's a common joke that you will see a lot of comedians do. Regardless of who you see on stage, they always try to introduce you their culture and saying, okay, I didn't know that this is, and they bring it out for comedy. Comedy should always be that safe haven. I've always said comedians should always have that unfiltered card to say whatever. That's just me personally. Disagree, okay, but I've always been like, comedians should have that unfiltered card to say whatever the hell they want to. But yeah, it's now a disclaimer. So my big question is, are we going to start seeing that now on other films? Are we going to see that on other films or TV shows? Like, what are there going to be more and more disclaimers in front of our eyes? Because let's be honest, like, action movies get more and more graphic. Romance films get more and more sexualized, especially when it comes to reality TV. It gets more sexualized, and on cable networks, especially primetime. I mean, certain cuss words are being allowed to be shared on air, which was like, oh, did they just say what I think they said? So, I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting with the rise right now of streaming. Again, that's another reason why linear and cable are they're just going down the rabbit hole. So, yeah, my friends, what's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on this? What is your thoughts on this? Please DM me on Instagram at the Arrington Gavin Show, or you can email us through our website, www.theagshow.com, and shoot us, let us know what you think about this. We are very curious to find out. And if you appreciate this, if it's annoying, if you are a fan of the whole politically correct ways now, are you a fan of it, or are you or do you dislike it? Let me know. Just let me know what you think, and we'll talk a little more about it on our socials, or probably even talk about it on Substack as well. My friends, look, we're going to take another commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back here with more of the Arrington Gavin Show. Don't go anywhere.
What's up, y'all? Welcome now.
And we still in traffic.
Don't look familiar, do I? Not in this seat.
Hey, what's that you listening to?
Here to host today.
Hey, turn it up.
With me?
Yeah, that's that new GoatVerse app. I got you.
So y'all want to know where the goats are? They're off on the sidelines.
Looking for fresh, relevant content wherever you go?
What was the name of the app he said?
Introducing GoatVerse TV.
GoatVerse, that's what it's called.
The free streaming app that brings you the best podcasts, current events, and thought-provoking opinions all in one place. Download it now from the Apple Store or Play Store. In Goats, we trust.
Order your beard care products with Rugged Evolution. We're your local beard care line that supports the maintenance of your full, mature beard. Our line includes conditioning shampoos, moisturizers, balms, oils, shaving lotions, and exfoliating soaps. These products moisturize, hydrate, nourish, and have all the natural ingredients for a healthy beard. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. And remember,
Rugged is the new smooth.
Let me tell you something most people get wrong about suits. A suit isn't just about you wearing it. It's how you show the world who you are. It's your handshake before you say a word, your presence when you step into any room. That's why we design statements at Dapper Luke. We don't just make suits. We'll start with the fabrics that tell your story, luxurious wools, silk, linen, and blends sourced from the finest mills in Italy, the UK, and India. Then we'll combine that with your vision, your personality, and your style. Every detail is tailored to you, from the fit to the finish. Whether for your wedding, a gala, the boardroom, we specialize in creating custom suits that are unique, just like the men who wear them. We spent years perfecting this craft, apprenticing under designers in New York, and showcasing collections in New York and for Baltimore Fashion Week. None of that matters as much as seeing the look on your face when you try on your custom suit. Over 900 clients have already trusted us to deliver the best custom suits. They trust me to deliver the confidence. We proudly serve Virginia Beach and Baltimore and would be honored to bring your vision to life next. Let's create something unforgettable. Book your free consultation today at www.dapperluke.com.
All right, family, welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. I'm your guy, Arrington Gavin. Next story or topic I'm wanna discuss with you all. It's a touchy one. It's a controversial one, and that's in regards to law enforcement brutality that occurs in our society. So recently, I don't know if you all heard, but the officer involved in the innocent death of Breonna Taylor was given nearly 3 years. And a lot of folks was like, wow, nearly 3 years, really? That's all? Some folks were saying he shouldn't have got any time at all, like the DOJ. Okay, because the DOJ called for no prison time. Yeah, no prison time. Yeah, I repeat, no prison time for killing an unarmed female. Oh, by the way, in her own home. Okay, let me read you this. This was reported by the Associated Press. So, a federal judge recently sentenced former Kentucky police officer to nearly 3 years in prison for using excessive force during the deadly 2020 Breonna Taylor raid, rebuffing a U.S. Department of Justice recommendation, who had recommended for, as I mentioned earlier, no prison time for the defendant. Now, Brent Hankinson, who fired 10 shots during the raid, but didn't hit anyone, was the only officer on the scene charged in the black woman's death. Now, he is the first person sentenced to prison in the case that rocked the city of Louisville and spawned weeks of street protests over police brutality that year. Now, U.S. District Judge Rebecca Grady Jennings is in sentencing Hankinson said no prison time, it's not appropriate, and would minimize the jury's verdict from November. Jennings said she was startled. There were more people injured in the raid from Hankinson's blind shots. She sentenced him, as I mentioned, Hankinson, who's 49 years old, to 33 months in prison for conviction of use of excessive force, with 3 years of supervised probation to follow the prison term. Now, he will not report directly to prison. The U.S. Bureau of Prisons will determine where and when he starts his sentence. The judge who presided over 2 of Hankinson's trials expressed disappointment with a sentencing recommendation by federal prosecutors in the previous week, saying the Justice Department was treating Hankinson action as an inconsequential crime, and said some of its arguments were incongruous and inappropriate. Now, civil rights attorney Ben Crump, who helped Breonna Taylor's family secure a $12 million wrongful death settlement against the city of Louisville, had called the department's recommendation an insult to the life of Breonna Taylor and blatant betrayal of the jury's decision. I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. At the end of the day, a life was lost, and a life was lost. A person who never even struck at the officers, a person that never had a gun in her hand. It was her home. It was her own home. Crump recently said he had hoped for a longer sentence, but was grateful that Hankinson is at least going to prison and has to think of those 3 years about Breonna Taylor and that her life mattered. Afterwards, before crowd outside the courthouse, Crump sounded a familiar chant, "Say her name." The crowd yelled back, "Breonna Taylor." And he and other members of Taylor's legal team issued a subsequent statement criticizing the Justice Department. Quote here says, "While today's sentence is not what he hoped for, nor does it fully reflect the severity of the harm caused, it is more than what the Department of Justice sought. That itself is a statement." Again, Hankinson's 10 shots the night of the March 2020 botched drug raid flew through the walls of Taylor's apartment into a neighboring apartment, narrowly missing a neighboring family. Y'all, it all goes down a track. Because here's the thing. Before I move forward, folks are saying, "Oh, Arrington, you must be one of them leftists. You probably thought it should have been wanted to defund the police, huh? You probably were all for defund the police, huh?" No, I think that was I really thought that was a silly thing to promote, in my opinion. From the Democrats, I thought that was a dumb proposal. Defund, no. It does need to be an increase in training, which probably will cause more money. My thing is, this is my issue, and this is no offense to any law enforcement, because I truly support our law enforcement. I have folks I consider brothers that work in law enforcement, family that work in law enforcement. Okay, the job of being an officer is one of the hardest jobs there is. That being said, 6 months, to me, I feel like, for one, they rush the training. I feel like they do. Also, you patrol officers in communities that they are not familiar with. You put officers in communities that they've never stepped foot in before they put on that badge. So then they're not familiar with their environment. 3, not all folks are lined up to be a police officer. I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to offend for those who look. There are heroes out there that are there to serve and protect, and they are doing a hell of a job doing that. Then you do have folks that they're not suited for that position. Now, this was a huge issue here. Huge issue here. Why? Again, the question is why he had to shoot 10 gunshots, nearly almost hurting the family in the other apartment complex. Says here that the 26-year-old's death, along with the police killing of George Floyd in Minneapolis, sparked racial injustice and police brutality protests nationwide that year. And it did. It really did. But the Justice Department, under the leadership of you-know-who, took office recently, sought no prison time for Hankinson. And this is my issue here. If he was so supportive of Black lives, why isn't this is the most heartless? No jail time? No jail time. Yet folks say, well, Trump has done this for Black people. What the hell has he done? He's telling somebody who had took a sister's life, oh, that guy doesn't deserve any jail time. No. Come on now. Come on, dude. We weren't born yesterday. what kills me, the mother of Breonna Taylor said she was disappointed that the new federal prosecutors assigned to the case were not pushing for a tougher sentence on many occasions inside the courtroom. Led federal prosecutor agreed with Hankison's defense attorneys on factors that would decrease Hankison's punishment. Again, I want to backtrack this before I move on to another story, and again, staying in police brutality conversation. Taylor was shot in her hallway by 2 officers after her boyfriend fired inside the apartment. Boyfriend striking the officer in the leg. Now, here's the sad part. Folks can say, okay, this is most likely stuck in a crossfire kind of thing. The boyfriend was the one that fired, that fired from inside the apartment. Neither of the other officers were charged in the state of the federal after prosecutors deemed they were justified in returning fire into the apartment. Now, Louisville police used a drug warrant to enter Taylor's apartment, but found no drugs or cash inside. So then, in that case, didn't the boyfriend have the right to do what he did because he was protecting his household? There was no drugs, no cash found. What do you do if you are, and these are I'm talking to the gun owners out there. What do you do if someone broke into your house late at night, you're sleeping, you're sound asleep? What do you do? What do you do? I will leave it at that. And I want to talk about this. I'm looking at my time here because I don't know if I have enough time to. Well, I want to talk about this story here. So let's see. In Jacksonville, hold on, let me try and find this piece for you. Give me 1 second. So in Jacksonville, there was a altercation that had occurred back in February, and it involved a young man who was brutally attacked by law enforcement. The surveillance video was just recently shared. So let's see. Viral video shows it was a traffic stop that made the rounds of social media. Weekend has been cleared to criminal. Okay, so I'm trying to read this morning. Okay, body cam shows McNeil closing his car door after interacting with officers. The responding, well, I'm not going to say the gentleman's name, but in the video, the officer can be heard telling McNeil, the victim, to step out of the vehicle as he is under arrest for resisting. Both interactions were not included in the original posted video on social media. The video shows he's saying, okay, can you give me your proof? Can you give me this? Can you give me that? Which, look, the gentleman was well in his right. Now, there was a press conference where the sheriff was speaking about recent charges that was brought on McNeil to kind of help their case of why there was a warrant for his arrest. But again, the video is very, very just iffy, in my opinion. After he was outside of his car, the sheriff said officers found a large unsheathed serrated knife on the driver's side of the floorboard. Okay, so right there, they're seeing him as a threat because he had a weapon right there. The sheriff says that the officer had been stripped of his authority during the internal investigation and said he will not defend or commend his actions until all the facts are determined. The guy was staying in his car the whole time. Officers, boom, they break his window, they break his windshield. it's literally like 4 guys literally beating this one individual. That's my issue. Regardless of if the gentleman's a suspect and found guilty in those charges, hey, he guilty. But at the end of the day, if he doesn't harm an officer, I don't think it's fair for the officer to start striking and doing all this stuff to make them, because they already dislike the fact that you're not listening to them to get out the car. They already didn't like that, right? And again, I'm sorry, but you have folks that they think because they have that badge, they have the power to stomp over you. And I'm not saying all. I'm saying there are folks like that exist in our society. When you give them any ounce of power, they can abuse that power. Do they not? That happens, right? Okay. So my thing is, when they feel disrespected, they're going to do something about it. And that's what you kind of see in this video. Now, I haven't seen the full video. So again, this is an ongoing investigation. But the video that has been shared on social media, it does not look pretty. It doesn't. Let's see here. During the news conference, the sheriff, I think Waters' his name, was asked if the black community would accept the results of the internal investigation when it is completed. He said, I wouldn't work here if we were after black men. Waters said McNeil ended up being arrested on charges of resisting an officer without violence, driving on a suspended license, and possession of less than 20 grams of marijuana. Now, I don't know the amount of 20 grams. It says here McNeil, back in February, he pleaded guilty to and was adjudicated guilty of resisting an arrest. I just think, again, it all goes down to training. It all goes down to training. And we're going to continue this conversation, y'all, because I'm looking at my time and my time is running a little low. But it is an ongoing investigation. It is an ongoing story that we're going to see across our television screens, across our social media platforms. But it has to be a different system, in my opinion. Just the whole seeing officers ganging up on one person that is unarmed, that has not struck them at all, to me is just it's too much. It's a bit unfair. But we'll talk a little more about it. We'll talk more about it here on the show. I hope y'all continue having a again wonderful evening. Thank you so much for sticking with us here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Be sure, do me a favor, be sure to follow us on all social media platforms that you can find us on: Instagram, Blue Sky, X, as well as on our Substack page. Be sure to tune into the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights, available on all digital streaming platforms, as well as on the radio airwaves. Yes, my friends, we're going to continue to give it to you raw, give it to you zero, unfiltered, as best as we can. And we're just gonna continue to keep you informed, entertained, and just sharing our thoughts on these crazy stories happening in our world today. So again, y'all, stay blessed, stay safe, stay informed, and please, once again, just do what's right. Be kind to one another. Treat others the way you want to be treated. And if you see somebody in need of a helping hand, please be a blessing to them and not just walk over them or ignore them. Please be a helping hand and provide some kind of assistance or guidance. So that's all I got for y'all today. Peace and blessings, y'all. I'll talk to y'all soon.
That's it for tonight on the Arrington Gavin Show. Thanks for tapping in and keeping the conversation alive. Don't forget, stay connected with us on all platforms. Follow at Arrington Gavin on Instagram, Blue Sky, and X, and subscribe to the official Substack for exclusive takes and deep dives you won't get anywhere else. We're here every weeknight, same time, same energy, same real talk. Until next time, stay bold, stay sharp, and stay true. That's what we do on the Arrington Gavin Show. Peace.